Dearest listener slash watcher, I suppose, welcome back to my channel, where today we are answering the age-old question of why did my dog do that? And by that I mean eat everything in sight. Here's a little background on him. My pupper, Tim, yes, that's his legal name, was a rescue. We met him at an animal shelter in our area about 7 years ago, and we have had him ever since. Obviously. He's a black lab mix, but we don't know what he's mixed with. He's also about 14 years old and is very old and sleepy man. His favorite things are me and chicken. Last year he got diagnosed with pancreatitis, which basically means that his pancreas is failing. He gets his food cooked for him by my mother and went from a chunky blob to a blob with a snatched little waist. I love him with all my heart, and he would probably trade me for a little snack. I have compiled a list of all of the weird shit he's eaten over the years, so I thought I would share it with you before I describe why. I would find a seat because this is gonna take a while. Please keep in mind that these are definitely not in order and have taken place over the course of 7 years, and that besides his stomach issues, the vet says he is entirely healthy. The first one that comes to mind is that he ate liquid Motrin he found in a garbage can when my young sister was sick. My mom had set her up in the living room so we could monitor her fever and so she could watch TV. They left to go to the doctor. I have no idea where I was, and he took it out the trash with the bottom open, ate it, and then vomited for the rest of the night. So much fun. Next we have raw chopped meat he took off the counter at our old house. There were no crazy misadventures with that. We just had to change what we had for dinner. This also reminds me of a time he went in the pantry and ate a bunch of raw rice. It expanded in his stomach, and then he got sick all over the floor. The things we do for love, I guess. Cleaning up after such nasty. He's also eaten brownies from off the counter multiple times with no major stomach problems after, except gas, pretty much. On the topic of junk food, he stole my mother's Twizzlers and gobbled them up. For reference, my mom is pretty much addicted to the big peel and pull Twizzlers, and he offended her on a personal level when he pulled that one. I don't think she's even forgiven him yet, and it was like a month ago. Around Easter time a couple of years ago, my sister came back from her father's house with baskets of those shredded paper shits and chocolate eggs. She left it on the coffee table in the living room, and as you can guess, Stinky ate it, the chocolate and the paper. It was not fun to clean up, I can tell you that much. When my sister was younger, he ate her sidewalk chalk and crayons, and then pooped rainbows for a few days, like the LGBTQ plus icon he is. Here's a great story that is equally funny and traumatizing for me to remember. Okay, so my sister caught this weird viral infection a bit ago, where she had like a really high fever, like 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and then lost her appetite. Me and my mom, having a big brain moment, figured we could get her carnation powder to make sure she was getting her nutrients in. It's like chocolate milk powder with more protein and vitamins. It came busted open in the mail, so we sat it to the side in the kitchen to return to the store later. We went out, probably to the doctor or the grocery store, and when we come back, we see Tim licking something off the floor. It looked like he had pooped all over the house, but what really happened is that he spilled the carnation powder onto the floor and was licking it up. The house smelled like burnt chocolate for days, as the only way it came off the hardwood was with elbow grease and a floor steamer. I didn't personally experience this, but my mom said that he was farting all night, and it was horrible. Oh, Tim. He's eaten a plethora of pizza boxes waiting to be taken outside with the recycling, not to mention a whole pizza a couple months ago. Just a few days ago, we had meatloaf for dinner, and I gave him a small piece because he's not allowed to have a lot of beef because of his condition. He took it upon himself, since I was in the bathroom and my mom was in the living room, that he should jump up on the counter, which he doesn't do very often anymore because he's old, and eat a slice of meatloaf from off the plate. He sulked on the couch for the rest of the night. Before we found out that he was sick, he used to go in the garbage a lot. He's eaten all sorts of shit, his favorite being coffee grounds. He also used to go in the bathroom garbage and eat bloody tissues, because 3 people in this house get periods. I know. He hasn't done that in years, though, just the kitchen garbage and my brother's. Speaking of such, he once ate a whole rib bone, swallowing it whole, that he got from the garbage and gagged the whole time. He didn't even try to gnaw on it or anything. Fucking gross. This dog, my tiny guy, is not stupid though, regardless of what my mother thinks. I say this because on occasion he used to take a whole loaf of bread still wrapped in plastic, unwrap it like he had opposable thumbs, and eat the bread, leaving the plastic unpunctured on the floor. He can be neat when he wants, I guess. He's done that multiple times, the number of which I don't even know. He can't do that anymore though, because we have a bread box that cannot be opened by him, and he isn't supposed to eat bread anyways. Let me paint another picture for you. Our house gets a lot of light from the front, so inevitably, due to the movement on the sun, part of the backyard is always shrouded in darkness, which is perfect for mushrooms to form, also due to the humidity. I think you can see where this is going. On more than one occasion, when he's going potty, Tim would stop what he's doing and eat said mushrooms on the lawn, and then get surprised when I try to pry his mouth open and take it out. For said reasons, he has to be monitored when he goes outside. He also eats sand in the backyard, as there was sand under the foundations of our house, because there was an extension put in that's suspended with stilts. We live in a high range, if that makes any sense to you. I will take a picture and hopefully show you all what I mean. That area is now covered in medium-sized gravel stones, so he doesn't try to eat them, because apparently rocks are off limits to him. Okay, 1,200 words in, and we're still going. Next, we have Laffy Taffy. My mom, despite being diabetic, tends to buy big containers of candy to bring to work with her to share with her friend and associates. She had bought a thing of Laffy Taffy to bring to work, and Tim jumped up, took it, opened the plastic, punctured the plastic, and I'm guessing ate some whole, because I found no remnants of them. Thankfully, there was still some left in the container, but needless to say, he's on my mom's shit list, for obvious reasons. Next, we have tea and coffee, respectively, which had been left on the coffee table or on my mom's nightstand, which he slurped up and then had the zoomies for an indiscriminate amount of time. Coffee is only drunk once, but tea he has had multiple times. He's also eaten his own hair after he had been brushed before we could vacuum it, his own nails, which are hard enough to cut since he refuses to let us touch them on a good day, and his own vomit, which I'll never get out of my head. Thanks for that, stink. He also licks every couch, every blanket, every floor in the house, because that's just what he do. I have a pillow of Josh Hutcherson because whistle, and he's licked his chest before with his paw on his shoulder. I'm not kidding. I wish I had a video of it. Now for the bagels. Yes, very funny, haha. New York dog eats bagels and pizza. He has eaten people's bagels left out while they go to the bathroom off the counter. He's also eaten a bagel the woodland creatures brought into the backyard, which was covered in ants. I mean, literally. You could barely see the bagel because it was covered in little black ants. He's not supposed to eat those, by the way, the bagels, because of his condition. He also isn't supposed to eat the little pancakes my mom makes for him, but she still gives them to him. It's okay though, you can't keep him from everything, just the things that will make his life hell, like peanut butter, which was his favorite thing in the world and he's no longer allowed to have because his body cannot handle the amount of fat. That said, he's also eaten whole chocolate bars. Unsurprising, I know. He's also eaten grease-soaked paper towels left to soak up beef fat or pork fat overnight. Have I mentioned that he isn't supposed to have fat, or at least he's supposed to have very little of them? Okay. That's about everything I could compile from off the top of my head and my family's respective heads. Now here is a segment called Things Tim Tried to Eat but Was Unsuccessful. This will be a very short segment. Starting off strong with a dead squirrel he tried to bring in the house to chomp on. I was away at school when it happened, but it still makes my mom queasy thinking of it. The second is his only kill in the entirety of the time we have had him, a baby rabbit. He killed it when I was in an online AP exam during my senior year of high school. Thankfully, we were on break, but still. My brother had to wrench it out of his mouth, and I think he buried it somewhere in the backyard. And on that somber note, we come to the end of Things Tim Tried to Eat but Was Unsuccessful. I told you it would be short. Now for the why. Why he do that? As I mentioned, Timmy the Stink is a black Labrador retriever. Him, along with the rest of his breed and all of its color variants, are actually genetically always hungry. I won't say I did a whole lot of research on this, but I checked Reddit and this other website, so I think that's enough for me. Labradors have a genetic variant that makes them prone to obesity and overeating. Basically, in labs, they have a low level of an appetite regulation hormone called POMC, which makes them always hungry and unable to feel full. Not all labs have this gene, but at least 20% of them do. Some other breeds are also prone to it, which explains why it got passed down to Tim Tim, the stinkatron, who is a mutt but mostly black lab. We have no idea where he came from, but it's safe to say that Tim Tim has this genetic variation, which is why he must beg for everything, and by everything, I mean everything. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please lick that subscribe button like my dog would like to lick Josh Hutcherson's chest, apparently. You can find my socials in the description box, and I think I'm going to post once a week from now on. I'm only human, and I do not like the quality of the videos that I did make when I was posting every day, and I know I can do better. More time means a better edit and hopefully a better video in the end. Please share your silly dog stories with me, and I will see you all next time.